Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Bella or Belliana. Bella for short. And this is going to be the first live on this channel. I'm doing recaps for Chance Englebert, Taylor Casey, Beverly Jaye, Potter Mintz. All three persons that I did before on a previous channel. So I'm not gonna go through and give all the details, but I will place links afterwards, so you guys can go and really, you know, get the full details of their stories. So this is Chance right here. Chance went missing on June 6th of 2019. I did see if there are um, any new information on any of the cases, and there's no new developments. So, Chance went missing after he was insulted by his wife's family. They were in Wyoming, Gering. Is it Gering, Wyoming? Notes. And okay, so I'll just read it to you from Google, just so you can get a quick. So the former rodeo star went missing in Gering, Nebraska 5 years ago and has not been seen since, leaving behind his wife and young son. A new lead places Englebert 2 miles from where he was last seen on surveillance footage on the evening, of July 6th, not June 6th, July 6th of 2019. So what I got was that the family has some pretty close ties, and there was after he left, he he had an encounter with a police officer that either accosted him or threatened him or made him feel like he needed to get in the police car with this law enforcement person, and they took him back to a family member's place. And I think it was, I feel like it was like an uncle's. It was an older male, domineering man. And then there was a younger male that was also involved. And what I feel like happened was, or what he was showing me at the time, was that they drugged him and they buried him consciously, like alive, under the influence of drugs on the property of a family member. I remember seeing him in like the vestibule of this home, angry, traumatized, and just, naturally angry. He was robbed of a relationship with his son. He was basically set up by allegedly, by his wife. They did not have a good marriage, a good situation. And it was like, I get the impression that he felt like that this was a slow burn, like this was a slow build to a setup to set him up for something, so that there wouldn't be issues with paternity or anything like that. So so that's what I got in for Chance, that he was not he couldn't trust the people that he was, involved, these people that he went to see, her family, her. Bad news, bad news. Um, and, there have been a history of things that have gone on for some time, but bad news. He called his friend to pick him up. His friend couldn't pick him up um, from Wyoming because there was a storm coming, and the friend said he was drinking. And then there's other information regarding Chance's cell phone. Something about the cell phone was somebody on, like the wife said that she found his cell phone, or somebody found the cell phone and left it at the residence where they lived in Wyoming. And then the wife had somebody go and get the cell phone before anybody could. And this is what his friend had told someone in an interview, that there must have been incriminating evidence on that phone because because there was this scurrying to get the cell phone after he went missing. So I believe he's on the property of one of her relatives. Um, and they buried him alive. He was conscious. They gave him something. They gave him something because I remember in the reading he was saying that he was confused. He didn't know that he was dead when he was dead because of the drugs. And I said this too with Sebastian Rogers. When people are when people are given drugs and they die from it, there can be a lot of confusion with reality and understanding where they are, what's happening consciously because of the drugs. But he was given like a paralytic, something that wouldn't allow him to move, and they put him in a box and buried him under cement. I heard that the family invited law enforcement and to search properties, but they weren't gonna. No dog was gonna pick up on anything um, with him being under cement. You know what I mean? Like in that part of the country, I feel like these kinds of things happen a lot because where he went missing in Nebraska has an unusually high number of missing people. And so these people know how to get around cadaver dogs. They know what to do when they're covering up something. So but I think this was a setup. I think this was a setup. I think that um she somehow convinced him to go out there. He was starting a new job. And it was a perfect opportunity because he wasn't around any of his friends or family. And he was isolated, you know, and he was antagonized. And, they created a situation where he became reactive and just got up and left. And they called somebody. They called somebody to pick him up, somebody that can commandeer him, somebody that had the power to commandeer him. This was a member of law enforcement that accosted him and probably threatened to throw some false charges on him. And this person, allegedly, this law enforcement person, brought him back to one of her relatives' houses. I feel like this was like a some kind of ranch setting, not an actual ranch with animals. Could have been animals, but I felt like it was like the kind of property where it was isolated. Um, where there wouldn't have been neighbors on top of each other. You know, so um, yeah, so that's what I have for Chance, and let's move on to Taylor Casey. So let me just go ahead and pull her photo up. I just need a moment. So Taylor went missing last summer, and I did several videos for her. Here's a picture. And let me just go and get her intro so you guys, whoever's not familiar with her case. Now, Taylor Casey went missing from a yoga retreat in the Bahamas, along with others, along with at least one other man that went missing back in 2015. So let me pull the details up here. All right. So Taylor Casey was last seen on June 19th in the Bahamas. Some people say she was depressed, confused, so forth. I didn't get that. What I got from her is that she was excited to make changes and she went there to get educated, to add to what she wanted to. Her intention was to pick up, learn some things, pick up some attributes, something that she could bring back to her practice in Chicago. So she was going there to learn and expand her understanding on certain things. If she had some issues with if there were some emotional issues, it was environmental. It's because it was environmental. So you got to remember Taylor was transgender, and the people who run that place are very traditional and intolerant. I was going to say non-tolerant, intolerant. There's a male that heads that place. There's a female, and then there's a younger female. And I felt like the younger female, somebody was toying with Taylor's mind, like really trying to get into her head, and was playing games. And I almost felt like when I did the reading that they were doing this. They've done this before to other people that have been there. This person was pretty much a Jezebel, just trying to play with her mind, presenting herself as a damsel in distress, somebody that needed help. And then whenever somebody attempts to go, come to her aid, it triggers the male there. Because again, a very intolerant person, it triggered the male, and there was a response that wasn't good. So I felt like it was this game. It was a psychological game because the younger female is stuck with these people in this family. And it's kind of like this thing where she gets off on trying to pull people in and create situations. It's just twisted. That's what I got from it. What happened to her had everything to do, allegedly, with the people who run that place. They were directly involved in what happened to her. That it was not self-harm, that she was likely baited, misled, and there was something that was happening because when I saw that video of her, they were having some sort of scenario. Not scenario. Well, it's scenario. They were having some sort of ceremony, is what I wanted to say. And Taylor didn't look good in that video. She looked like um she was being pulled in different directions, like mentally. I felt like they were just toying with her. Like something really wasn't right. Like they were like I just felt like she went there balanced with a drive, with a goal, inspired and driven, to expand her knowledge and then to bring it back and then to do what she was doing in Chicago. So I felt like she went there balanced. But what happened when she got there, there's just pure darkness. Like there's some of these Eastern religions are really, really, really dark. Um, they call Africa the dark continent, but I really feel like it's Asia that's the dark continent with all the dark arts and stuff. And I think they manipulated her, got in her head, confused her. They may have given her something. Um, because I feel like there was a lot going on, but it had a lot to do with she was being toyed with, like somebody was jealous of what she was trying to do and the energy that she had, you know what I mean? So there was definitely jealousy, there was intolerance. And I just wish she would have got out of there as soon as she started to smell something funky. I wish she would have got out of there and just came right back. But I saw her um, in a mangrove, like in an area outside, just off of the land, but kind of caught up in like the vegetation and the water. So I guess that would be like a mangrove. So not necessarily on land. And then after that reading, I remember feeling like when the case started blowing up, that someone had actually went and retrieved her and put her somewhere else, like actually buried her underground. Um, but I do feel like she was in the water. They found her cell phone in the water. Um, yeah. So, but in subsequent readings, and like after that, the last reading I did for her was a very positive one. When I saw her last, she was encased in light. very positive, very peaceful. Like she was in a really, really good place, good vibes. All this pure, beautiful light was surrounding her. And so, she definitely had transitioned, but she was in a really, really good place. And but yeah, that place, that yoga retreat place, bad news, bad vibes, everything about it was bad, in the reading. And then the guy that went missing there, I think in 2015, um, I did a reading for him as well, and it was definitely some shady stuff too surrounding a female there. It was surrounding a female, and then he disappeared. And the female was a fixture at that place. Like it's this girl. There's a female. There's a family there. There's a male. There's a father, likely a father, a mother, and there's a daughter. And this female is like a Jezebel. So again, I don't know if it's this damsel in distress that she plays, or she's playing with people's minds, or whatever she's doing. But and there's probably more people that have gone missing there. But and his name, let me see if I can get his name right quick. Um, Wesley something. Hold on. Yeah, Wesley Bell. Wesley Bell went missing um, in 2013. In 2013. Yeah, so there's a report here from NBC News. Texas man vanished from same Bahamas yoga retreat 10 years before Chicago woman did. All right. That was Wesley Bell. Um, and that's what I got for him too. So, I mean, I think what the Fed should do, somebody should send people in there undercover and really like get a feel for what's going on and see how these people are moving, because something is really, really wrong there. Um, yeah, so that's Taylor Casey. And then we're going to move on to Miss Beverly J. Potter Mintz. Beverly J. Miss Beverly J. Potter Mintz. From Leland, North Carolina. She was harmed um, in 1987 at home in front of one of her young toddlers. A day before, her youngest would have been two, had the birthday, became 2 years old. So a day before that, all right, so this is what happened. She had placed an ad in the paper for a waterbed, queen size, good condition, $150. She listed her mom's phone number for people to respond. Oh, hold on, let me get her picture up for you guys. Let me grab her picture. Okay. There we go. There she is. She was 23 years old. And all right. So her mom was answering the phone for her for this ad in the paper. She had already sold the bed when her mother had sent someone over there. Someone had called. The mother gave them instructions on how to get there, and that person went there, and they think that this is the person who harmed her. So I see that she was stabbed. So I did several readings with her. We had very clear communication. It was really nice working with her because she gave me a lot of information about the perp, which I'll get to in a few moments. But what I saw was that something happened to her eye, and I want to say it's her right eye. They say she was stabbed, she was essayed, her throat was, cut. But both times I did a reading for her, something happened to the right eyeball or the right eye socket, what is it, the occipital bone, something that happened to her eye, but that's not listed here as part of her injuries. All of this happened in front of her baby. They didn't harm the baby. She had two boys. One of the boys was out with her aunt, who is the twin of her mom. So her mom was a identical twin with the aunt that had the other baby um, with her when this happened. So what I got from Miss Beverly, she was giving me names. Um, I can't really remember the names of the perps, but I could tell you where they were born and what they do. Well, it's just I feel like there was a blonde, there was a tall blonde that was not in the house. The person that was in the house was dark haired, medium height, and somewhat stocky. That's what I got for the perp that was in the house. But I feel like there's a tall blonde that's associated with this, but was not physically in the house. Um, She told me this person was born in or near Leesburg, Kentucky. Now I know there's a Leesburg, Virginia, and I thought that that was where she was referring to, but she made me feel overwhelmingly like it was Kentucky, and she said Leesburg. So I didn't know that there was a Leesburg until I looked it up, and sure enough, there's a Leesburg, Kentucky. She said the person was born and raised there, and was in Carolina at this time in their life doing odd jobs or something. Not sure what they were doing in Carolina, but in current day, this person does some sort of specialized architecture. Is a has a is upper income, like has a very comfortable life and has a son, and she's around this guy and his son. I think he has two sons, but one that she's around a lot, and I think this is the oldest son. She gave me names, which I don't remember, but they're in the southwestern area of Virginia. He's an architect. Sorry, I said that wrong. He is an architect, but it's some sort of specialized discipline in architecture. Okay, so yeah, so that's the field. Very comfortable financially, and she's around them. And she also told me that there's some kind of karma connection, like there's some sort of past life with this person, some sort of past life situation, and that what happened to her was karmic. And that was difficult to hear and difficult to relay because it was a brutal crime. And, she left two babies behind. But the way she was explaining it to me made sense because I've heard of this before. And, these karmic events where people cross paths um, from different times. And for whatever reason, it happens. But she said that she's around them and kind of like as a way of haunting them, or at least him, and trying to force him to come forward because she wants her boys to have some peace and resolve with the situation, especially because one of them was home and witnessed it, very young. But she gave me names, like I said, and but the biggest thing was where this person was born. I think that would be helpful to current investigation um, endeavors. Leesburg, Kentucky. The person's in the field of architecture, some kind of specialized form of it, and and they're based in the southwestern area of Virginia. So I might try to reach her again. She was very nice to interact with again, and see if I can get those names back. It's been a while, but I did want to talk about this again, to see if it will come back to me. But yeah, so that's what I have on Beverly J. Potter Mintz. Um, and those are my 3 recaps today. So thanks for checking out the live, and we will see you in the next video. Please like it and subscribe, and drop a comment below, and I'll put some of these links below as well when I upload this to videos. Okay, guys, take care.